Oops, why am I not there? Nothing's quite set up yesterday. Welcome to the Saturday stream. Nothing's quite as it seems. Like, you might think that I've been doing this for so long that everything is perfectly going smoothly in the stream, but you'd be so wrong. Now, some things are going correctly. Like, I do have a freshly poured. Oh, listen to that. Can you hear that? Freshly, right out of the can with ice. Like I like it. Diet Coke. First Diet Coke of the day. Only Diet Coke of the day. Here's my commercial. Enjoy Diet Coke. All right, it's fine. The other thing we have today is the beautiful blue Bluetooth controller. All right, I'm going to check some things out here. I need to be monitoring my YouTubes. Oi, hope you're on. Oh, geez, somebody's having a golden kappa train. That's very high priority. Audrey said something to me. Hold on 1 second here. Got to get in on that. Nice. 24 more hours, my golden kappa. It's a long story. This is what I'm talking about here. So you contribute to a golden kappa hype train, which are pretty rare. And for 24 hours, you get these golden kappas, which don't look gold in the stream thing, but would look gold if you're watching on Twitch app. Okay, fine. But they are gold. They're golden kappas because I still have golden kappas, and now you can power them up for an additional 24 hours by putting 100 bits into which is $1 worth of thingies. Oh yeah, we got plenty of Diet Coke. We're just getting loaded up here. All right, today I've decided to make a command decision. We're going to load the old Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Why? Well, the main reason is because it gives us some planes to play with that I don't have in 2024. They're just not ready for 2024 or whatever. The scenery's not quite as good, but I don't care. I mean, things like we got a chance to fly the Pink School Bus, the Flying Pink School Bus, and some other planes that trainer jet that just aren't. And yeah, I know 2020 is still an option. I think the ground elements look better in 2024. There's no doubt about that. And things like the trees, I mentioned, like the trees, that thing where the cherry blossom trees looks really great. And that's a 2024 only feature. You won't find that in 2020. But it doesn't mean I don't want to play 2020 every now and then. Which I have right here. Hold on, let's get ready here. Just gaming with Cam. I hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday or Saturday. Jeez, I don't know what that is. Somewhere in there. It's a weekend day. All right, we got the spring sale, April 17th to May 8th. Over 3,500 items are on sale. I may check this out off stream later to find out. Because, you buy things and, How you doing, Rory? Good to see ya. We're in 2020. Okay, so I want to do, we're going to go check out this cool add-on content scenery I have for my cat meowed. Where is it here? Okay, all right, it's up here. Let's see, there's Barstow. And it should be around, where is it? Or do I only have it in the other one? There's Edwards. It should be right around here. Maybe I only have it for 2024. Let me just do a search for this here. Yeah, no, that's not it. Hold on. Way out of weird. I didn't know there was a bunch of Amboys. But no. That was not it. What is the other one? Yeah, I guess we only have Amboy in interesting. Where are these? That's nowhere near it. Interesting. Anyway, Blake played some 20. I'm going to check up on chat here. Don't worry. We'll find somewhere some random small. There's a lot of those in Australia. Flew random. Oh, that's always on. South Africa rugby women's team. South Africa won. Yeah, South Africa is a powerhouse in rugby, men and women. All right, where are we gonna fly? We're gonna fly. We're gonna check out the Boneyard. I made a command decision in Tucson, Arizona. It's really fun. Wait, we got back out here. Tucson, Arizona. What's that? Theodore Roosevelt Dam. Are you? You see, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I'm not an expert, but I have friends in. I do have friends in Taos, Pueblo. There's some interesting stuff here. I don't know if we've seen. Friends in South Africa, and they are all really into the rugby. All right, Tucson. We're gonna check out. We're gonna fly around. We're gonna check out the Boneyard. We'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know what plane though. But and they're always saying, you know, they're pretty dominant. Apparently, New Zealand is another you know, big time team there. All right. Well, we haven't had a good time flying the pink school bus for a while because of the requirements, and it always gives me a smile. So we're gonna fly the pink school bus around the Boneyard. It's just a thing. It's just content. All right, just relax. It'll be fine. But I'm gonna cold start it because it's fun to cold start, and that's part of the fun I enjoy doing. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna fly around today. I'm gonna do this for roughly an hour. We'll probably do a couple of missions. You know, check out flights. Second half of the show, take a break. I'm gonna take my piano, which is sitting right over here, and I'm gonna drag it right over here. And magically, the place will turn into Ken's Piano Lounge once again. I don't think I'm going to sing too much. My voice is still tired from singing those rock and roll songs yesterday. I mean, I kind of like singing until my voice is kind of, but then yeah, it's always like, eesh. Wales, New Zealand, Italy, France, England are all good teams. Okay. I don't follow the rugby except that to know that you know, my friends in South Africa are always quite proud of their rugby achievements. And I don't think they're strong in the other typical European sports like football, like they would be. So I think rugby is kind of their thing. All right, we got to warming this baby up. There's two batteries. There's one on the left side and one on the right, which they call port and starboard. I don't know why. Your inverters should be on normal. I think actually probably do that later. There's these fuel valves. They need to be to there. Perfect. All right. We got your okay. Well, there's some stuff down here I want to take a look at. Do we have anything down here I need to worry about? No. There's no like master. Oh yeah, I want to make sure these are working. Okay, throttle. I can control my throttle, propeller, and I don't think there's a mixture control. Okay, so where is the avion? Okay, well, let's get an engine started first. If I remember how to do this. Okay, electrical master switch should be on wait a minute. On internal external power. Okay. Now we've got power. Now the school bus is a ton of fun. We're on ground start. That's all good. These don't matter. Cockpit interior lights. Okay. Ignition and fuel control should be on normal. We're going to want to turn, I think, the beacon lights on. No, right? Aren't those here? Beacon lights. You're supposed to turn the beacon lights on to let people outside know that you're about to start flying. Let's give it a whirl and see what happens. All right. Port engine. Move it. Let it sit for a second to run, and then put it in start. And if we've done it the right way, and it's been a while since I've started this plane up, we should see our port engine spin around there. By the way, this is the Flying Pig school bus. It's the Short Brothers Skyvan SC.7. Yes, this is based on a real livery. There is a skydiving school in England that runs 4 or 5 of these Short Brothers Skyvans. And they have them painted a couple of different wild ways, but this is the wildest one. You can go on YouTube and look up Short Skyvan SC7 Pink, and it will show you this plane in action in the real world. I don't know, it's real close. Okay, so we can put this one in run, and then we're going to try to start the other engine. See what happened. Other engine start. It's this one over here, the starboard one. It's like we're a boat. I guess that's a British thing. Cricket. Okay, well that's another thing. Like I always fly over. The other thing is, yeah, I always fly over Australia or England, and I notice there's cricket fields because they're ovals, they're egg-shaped, or they're oval, and that's the only sport you play on a large oval field. So I'm always like, cricket. Wait a minute, this one stopped. Wait a minute, I turned this button too far, right? We just gotta leave that there, and I put it accidentally in stop. So I accidentally stopped that engine. We're fine. Okay. So those are good. Okay. The starboard generator, port generator, starboard generator. That looks good. All right. So we should be having instruments. Should be able to boot up our instruments here. And to do that, they are booting up. We have to hit enter twice on each of our Garmins. This plane has weather radar, but you have to turn it on independently. So you turn on test. It shows you all the pixels, and then you put it on. Actually, on the ground, typically, by the way, you don't have weather radar on because it's kind of powerful and it's not healthy for people. And I don't care. All right, so those are good. Let's see. Everything seems to be working fine. Let's call up the place to take off. We're gonna just fly around the boneyard a bit. It's a vibe. What's my button for that? Tune Tucson ground. It's probably a pretty nice day. I don't care how we depart, but let's depart. Oh, also, it looks like we can't really get a pushback. Can we get a pushback? By the way, I mean, there are ground services. Hold on. Hold on a second. I wonder if it has a pushback. Maybe it'll let us push back. Because that would be cool. I rarely do it, but it doesn't work on every plane. Alright, we gotta do that. I'll basically put that there. All right, when he gets in there, we'll just normally there's a way to kind of not have to do this whole section here. It doesn't really work that well. This looks a lot better on jet planes, because yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. It'll kind of click in a second, though. Hopefully. On planes like a 737, the animation looks like it kind of works. There you go. All right, stop. That's all we really need. That's plenty of pushback. Perfect. We could have it steer to the left, but it doesn't need to. Oh, geez. Hey, stop. It doesn't let me stop while they're talking. Stop.
Tucson ground KNSH 9er requesting the end of pushback.
That's fine. We'll be fine. Hopefully. There you go. All right, let's fly. Okay. So now we can go to clearance. Geez, there's a lot of air traffic around here. All right, we're gonna kind of move forward here. Request taxi. HS. That's not it. Ground. Take off. I forgot. It's a little different than 2024. It's a little
Tucson ground
more.
KNSH
Okay,
9er ready to taxi, departing straight out with Kilo.
Catch 9er taxi 2 and hold short of runway.
All right. Am I moving here?
Echo Alpha. Contact tower on 119.0 when ready.
Are my engines going anywhere? Huh.
Taxi 2 and hold short
There we
runway
go.
29er right using taxiway Echo Alpha Kench 9er.
Gotta check my engines. I think I have my bleed air off or something like that. I gotta check the systems here. Something here's not quite right. We'll figure it out. But we'll fly around. Did I get a yoke? I don't get I don't have a yoke. I'm still just using the beautiful Bluetooth controller. I do have a throttle quadrant, which has these, so I can, so you can see here, I can simulate very accurately where I put the propeller and throttle controls, and it has 3 of those. But this one doesn't have a mixture, so it only uses 2, I think. I hope the engines are in good shape. I don't. This probably should be in flight. Okay. At this point. That didn't shut the engines down, did it? Ah. Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes, yeah, if you're going to have a plane like this, you definitely want to control that. Ooh, I just had to reboot the, hold on. That wasn't smart. They'll be fine. All right, we're gonna take off. We're gonna check out the boneyard. We're gonna look at a lot of planes. They're just sitting there, ready to get massacred. Where is this? Well, this is Tucson International. It's a huge airport. You can look how gigantic it is. I don't see anybody, guys. I'm just gonna keep going. Wait, I don't even think he's even talking to me. All right, let's get this stuff. I reset this. Okay, it's all fine. We're all good. All good. The engines are working. We can just set our trim here. He's not even talking to me. The first flight of the day, I do like to do the whole ground kind of thing. The second flight of the day, probably start at the end of the runway. I've kind of done it, but you know, I kind of get the vibe of looking at the mountains in the distance. I believe we have live weather and time turned on, but I always like to verify that. Let's see what it'll say here. Live weather. Weather, yes. Real-time weather, live weather, yes. So technically, it's a beautiful clear day in April. It's probably just perfect. All right, we don't need that much of the runway. This is probably plenty up here. This is like one of those 11,000-foot runways. We are pretty short takeoff, too. All right, this is fine. Oh, there's a plane coming in. Can we brake here? We're fine. Hopefully it'll let us request takeoff. Is the plane landing? Oh, it just took off? I don't know. Maybe somebody's flying around. All right, tune the tower. Hello. Perfect. All right, so flaps, I'm going to do to the 1/3 position, which is there in the back. For some reason, it doesn't read out. I take it back. Oh, I know what happened. I understand the problem here. We got a problem. Okay, engine bleed on, but I think I have my hydraulic systems. Hold on, let me double check this here. Hold on a second here. Oop, wait. Wait, sorry. All right, not getting a lot of braking here. Did I not turn on? Hold on a second here. This thing here, hydraulics master. Yeah, we needed that. Okay, now we can get the flaps on. I forgot to turn the hydraulics master, but don't worry, it's all good. You know, we won't die this time. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna get on the runway, and we're gonna do the actual flying around. Well, once you get some forward speed here, it really doesn't take too long to get off the ground. We're gonna rotate right about here, kind of comes right off without doing much input. There's no gear to put up. Just put the flaps. I wasn't? You're fine. You'll be fine. You'll forgive me. I do own the world. All right, let's get off here. All right, northeast, check out the boneyard. But I just get a great vibe flying around. Now, one thing you get in this plane is these 9 dudes in the back. Those are the skydivers. And, you know, as I mentioned, it's a skydiving plane. And you can open up the cargo bay in back, the cargo ramp switch there. And you can see it opens up, and there's the guys are back there. They won't jump out. I mean, it's just not part of the game. But they're hanging out there. It's pretty cool. You know, they're moving around. And then when you look back here, oh, this is a problem, by the way, because it's that it reduces your air diameter. You can kind of see out the back. Uh-oh. We'll be fine. Let me just give this a little gas. All right, closing the door so that we don't fall out of the sky. You want to be at a good, decent altitude. There it goes. But again, based on a real thing there. All right, so if we fly up to Montham Air Force, first of all, this is Tucson. The city of Tucson is that way. Kind of, you see those buildings in the distance. This is the airport. Everything's flat, and it's got some buttes and mesas. Wait, hold on here. Okay, and then you got Montham Air Force Base, and right behind it, the graveyard. All right. Which we're going to check out in great detail by flying real low over it. Yeah, I've looked into getting a yoke. I don't really have desk space because I'm converting my desk into a variety of purposes, like working. Like I have a workspace, and I have a bunch of keyboards, and I have to move those out of the way to plug my, to attach this throttle body to the desk. So I'm and it's not permanent. Okay, oops, overspeed. Okay, now we're definitely going too fast. That's fine. So military planes are going to fly into Montan Air Force Base for like permanent storage, I guess. Oh, a little bit more now. Hello. So this is the Air Force Base, but then you can see here rows and rows. We're going to fly down a few times. Mainly military planes, and mainly kind of obsolete military planes. But sure are a lot of them. And I think you can actually go here and tour the place, get tours of the place. And people do, just to see a huge amount of airplanes on the ground. My feeling is that very few of these could ever fly again, even if you wanted to, but none of them are state of the art. Under desk mounting solution. Yeah, again, my desk might not work for how I have it. I just might ergonomically, I'd have to have a separate space. And again, the third thing I do is bring my keyboard in and put it right in front of my desk on a stand. Okay, a whole bunch of those are not 52s, B-52s. Those are 135s. Some of these planes look pretty new. Those are all AWACS planes that have had their radar removed. But it goes on for a while, and then it goes even further. We're going to keep going. There's a bunch up there. There's this whole section down here. And it looks like there's plenty of room for more. Oh, there's some cool ones right there. There's these here. There are F-16s. I mean, F-16s are not considered, state-of-the-art planes anymore. But a lot of these are like A-5 Tigers and other things like that, which are like Cold War era, like 70s and 80s, but are no longer considered state-of-the-art fighter planes. They're very expensive to operate, so. But then there's a bunch of planes. Okay, there's a bunch of Chinook helicopters with their rotors off. A lot of Chinook helicopters, also very expensive to operate. And you can see a few places where there are planes that are partially disassembled, but it seems like most of them are intact. Yeah, the P-3 Orions, right? A lot of P-3 Orions are used for ASW, anti-submarine warfare. What is down there supposed to be? I wonder if these are like storage facilities for certain kinds of parts. Sometimes, I mean, they do kind of pull parts off that other planes might need. But man, it goes on. I don't know what those are. You can tell it's really nice how they show how they've had the glass removed from the cockpits and just covered with, like tar with paper. Right, because these guys have had their wings chopped off. They have a big device there, a big diesel. Okay, we're not doing well here. Okay, I got distracted. All right, we're gonna restart. We'll restart from the runway though. We'll restart from the air. Let me do that. That was fun though. Is science here? Yeah, those are C5s. I don't know if I saw any B-52s. No, we're going to start on the ramp here. Hold on a second here. Easy. I guess we'll do that from the main menu. It just takes a second. But no, I was still looking around. I was having a good time. We haven't seen the whole thing yet. It takes about 10 minutes of flying around. This plane is not the world's most maneuverable, but hey, it's okay. Those guys in the back probably made it. They jumped out at the last second. All right, so the actual boneyard where we were flying around is this section here. So we'll set that as our departure. And we'll just go back to where we were. This isn't 2024. In 2024, it just puts you right back in the air at 5,000 feet. And I prefer this for some reason, though. But in 2024, crashing is even less. And you can't have the option. I actually prefer having to go to the main menu and do little things. I mean, yeah, it's the constant. I shouldn't have crashed. I stalled out, man. I was going too slow for those turns. It's not like any big mystery. Okay, we're ready to fly. Everything should be on. Okay, yeah, we don't have any warning lights there. That's all good. We're way high up in the air, so we're gonna reduce our engines to nothing and go ahead and hit the ground. So what we're looking for is, okay, there's the air base there. You can see how high up we are. I just want to avoid tearing the wings off. But you can kind of see there's these, you can see where the, people live. They've got curvy streets. All these straight roads are just plains. But there's plenty, as I say, there's plenty of room. Like that whole area south of there, I think you could fill up with planes. My question is, why does it take so long? I mean, why did it have to be stored so long? I mean, you'd think there's a lot of recycling that could be done, but are some of the planes in good enough shape that they think in some case of strategic need, they could be repurposed, they could be put back, made flyable again, they could be made airworthy. I mean, you certainly have enough parts here. But it's not clear whether they've taken out the engines and the avionics. In which case, yeah, they're never going to fly again. So I mean, what do you do with them? And I guess you store them. Yeah, there might be. Well, some percentage of them could probably be made airworthy again if you really needed it. But the vast majority won't. They've been sitting out here. There are certain planes that they keep out here, and they store them, I think, in a different way. They cover them up entirely, and these are not them. You know, they're not. They're stored like completely under. Okay, we got some speed here. There we go. All right. I think the coolest thing is all these little planes, all the little fighters, the A5s and the F5s or the Tigers or whatever they are. There's a bunch of cool planes there. I don't know if we saw actual 55s, but there are probably a lot of them. Yeah, that's the other thing, Max. You know, the airframes, once they've had max flight hour on the airframe, no, you can replace the engines, but they're still not really going to be usable. And my feeling is that we have plenty of planes, you know. And some of them are not. You kind of like see they're just no. Actually, those are 3D modeled. But I'm just saying, you know, it's just, boy, if they're, you know, they cost millions and millions and millions of dollars each. But I guess they're not made. Oh, too much power. Too much power. I'll just throw the wings off. I'm trying not to stall out again. Now I'm going too fast. You got to watch that airspeed indicator. All right, let's check it out from here. Because those, I mean, if they would have 8 engines, if there were sort of 50 B-52s, they don't really look like 52. There's a bunch of colorful storage containers there. Oh, I'm going too slow again, aren't you? Yeah, oh, definitely C5s. Yeah, lots of C5s. Million, man, crazy. Okay, right. So this is where they have the partially disassembled planes, where they, as I was going to say, that we were flying over this. They have a giant diesel-powered guillotine thing. It's giant, and it's on a crane. They lift it up over the wing section, and they drop this effectively heavy blade on it that's been jacked up, like it's like a guillotine, and it snaps. It just cuts the wings off in one smooth motion. And they do the same thing on the tail. So I've never seen, you know, you can't really see that thing in action, but they have basically a custom chopper machine for chopping the wings off the planes. Uh-oh. Still going too slow. I like going slow. Oh, we're doing fine. 131 knots. We're not going to follow this guy this time. Well, that's pretty much the boneyard. I mean, it's big. Again, it's one of those places, kind of a bucket place. But I would think, you know, from the air is the way to see it, just because from the ground, it's just going to look like a really gigantically flat area that it would take you hours and hours to walk around this area by foot. You wouldn't want to do that. There's a bunch of other kind of one-off planes here, though, that I don't know. I guess those are part of the storage, because, yeah, Monton Air Force Base is here. All right, we're going to land at the Air Force Base. Oh, yeah, there's more up this direction, just north of Monton here, too. We didn't fly over these. But, again, there's a lot of those fighters, those single-seat fighter planes. Those definitely seem to be common. I would think those would be the ones that probably be easy enough to get flying again. They probably don't have the hours on the frame. But those are the last ones you're going to need in a world in which we have drones and missiles, you know. Single seat fighter planes are really not that useful in a modern war. It's believed, strategically thinking, and that's why a lot of them are sitting there. Hundreds and thousands of them are sitting there. All right, so what should we do for landing? I don't know. First of all, we should tell these guys in the back to get the hell out. We're gonna light up we're gonna open the cargo ramp. We're going to turn on the jump light. Where is the jump light? The jump light is... Oh, we're going to give us a little power to compensate here. The jump light is the tiny little light that I'm kind of pointing at right in the middle of my screen there. But they're not going to jump. I don't know. Are they afraid? Well, they shouldn't. We're way too low. All right, guys. You don't have to jump. I'm fine. I just like opening and closing the door and looking at them. It's part of the fun. All right. We'll land with them in there on this runway right here. We're a little heavy for landing, as I like to say right around now. But being that I know how to adjust that, we can. And by a little heavy for landing, I just mean we got too much fuel. Actually, we could check out Tucson a bit. That's this way, right? Yeah, we'll check out Tucson and then we'll fly back here. We got plenty of time, even for a second mission. There's a cool park here. Oh, a park. It's a golf course. Like, duh. Golf course. It's a whole country club. You can tell there's the country club there. Country club building. There's where the fancy people are parking. Then they play their golf. And that's Tucson. No, it probably was a B-52. I think what happens is they're not modeled perfectly, so you don't necessarily see the dual engine cells, but they are physically exactly looking. The wing shape and everything is exactly like a B-52. So I think they are B-52s. It's just for whatever reason they don't have the dual cells indicating 8 jet engines. Which even the new B-52s, they're going to put new engines on them, but they're still keeping an 8 engine configuration. It's just the way it is. For those, that's the only way you can make those things work. It's amazing that B-52s are still in the air after 60 years. They want to keep them up a long time. So there's a couple of covered stadiums here. I think Tucson has, I don't know, does Tucson have a baseball? Oh, it sure has. You know, that is a football, right? But what? Oh, right. This is University of Arizona. At Tucson. So this is a major campus of the University of Arizona. And also has a lot of like sporting events. But it's cool. You see the pool, you see the indoor arena where they probably play basketball. But I think this is all associated with University of Arizona. Pretty cool. Being at Tucson at all. Alright, so this building's there. I think this is pretty much it. Let's check it out. There's one more stadium action. It also says, what does that say there? There's the Tucson Badgers. Fine. I believe you. It's like an IKEA down there. It's getting a little framey, but this is Microsoft 2020. And it would be even worse if I didn't have a new computer. There's your downtown Tucson, I'm pretty much thinking. Or at least your financial district. All right, let's head back to the Monthan Air Force Base and land some tub. It's not far. It's right here. And meanwhile, we will enjoy the vibe of flying over Tucson, Arizona. A lot of swimming pools. There's a commercial area. There's a apartment complex with a nice pool. A chair. Maybe it's a hotel? Maybe a hotel. Or it could be an apartment pool. So we took off from Tucson International, which is down that way. Oh, it's down that way. That way, excuse me, that way. Tucson International. Got it. Okay. Alright, we're going to head here. We're going to have to start preparing for landing. Preparing for landing. Yeah. Alright. For example, flaps should start coming down a little bit. Gears on the issue. Look at all those trains. It's trains, planes, and automobiles. Now, normally you should call in and say you're going to land, but I never do. Past the runway a little bit, we're fine. Alright, that click was heading down to flaps at 20, what is the third click there, which is all we should need for landing. Alright, so now I'm watching that little knots thing. It says 80, 90. 90 is, you want it to be 80, 90, but not much slower than that. So we're going to give us a little more juice here. The flaps tend to... Oop, that's a little fast. It shows kind of, if you look there, there's a green, has a green and a yellow on the outside, the top left, effectively, gear. That's your knots. So I want to keep it between the blue and the red. Red is going to be a stall speed, and blue is your maximum approach speed. But it's very sensitive to the controls, which is fine. And meanwhile, of course, we've got to keep ourselves on track here. But I want to land. Yeah, this is good. This is a good landing speed. Should be able to get in quite gently here. reduce power a little bit. Left rudder here. That's pretty much a gentle landing there. At the Air Force Base. You know, we got people in the back. How's the landing, guys? You guys okay? I mean, they're not even strapped in. Meanwhile, I'm heading off the runway here. All right, hold on a second. Which way is the? I guess it's that way, right? Yeah, it's that way. There's a control tower over there, but I think the terminal. This is an Air Force base, so it wouldn't necessarily be laid out like a regular airport. Terminal's over there. Yeah, we'll go over ground. We can do that in 2020. In 2024, going over ground is iffy. Usually you damage your landing gear. Like half the time. Slow down a bit here. All right, we'll do a second mission in a different plane. Well, we'll stick in 2020. There is another plane that I really like flying that I cannot get to in 2024 yet. It's just not ready, I guess. Or they need to, make some fixes. These buildings are so kind of, I don't know if they really look like that in the real world. That's AI. All right. Just to quickly mention how we might turn off the plane. Generators are going to go off. Hello. Okay, it's thinking. Generators off. Put the engines in stop. Very good. Electromaster we can turn off. And everything else pretty much just shut off. Turn off the batteries. There we go. And it will slowly grind to a halt. I gotta take a picture. But we'll do a second. We're gonna do a second show here. It's like a little mission. Let's check out mission here. I kind of love how they come to a stop too. All right, let's get a badass picture, a screenshot of the. In fact, let's do this from outside the plane here. Get rid of the. See if I can find me a badass angle for the flying pink school bus. You gotta get the pink side, of course. But I like it when you can see the people on the inside doing stuff. Basically, you can't take a bad picture, a screenshot of the flying pink school bus. All right, there it is. Get my screenshot of the day. All right, number two mission. Yay! Number 2 mission is going to be somewhere else in a different plane. That's just the way we roll around here. But again, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm running 2020 to look for some planes. We'll figure that one out first. That don't really run or it won't load at all or don't run properly in 2024 yet, like the T-33, which is really cool, which I really like. So, the FA6 runs pretty well in 2024. I just got the Heinkel, but it's not a vibe for me. Let's see. The Aviation Alice isn't ready yet for 2024, and of course the Dornier. What else we got here? I think I want to fly my T-33, and I actually feel like cold starting it because it's not that bad. I think. Well, we'll find out. All right, T-33 liveries. We got 1 million of them. Well, no, we got like 16. Jet Trainer Mexico, Greece, Colombia. Well, we're gonna have to go with Jet Trainer USA. It's very patriotic. All right. All right. Where though? Where do we want to go? Someplace entirely different. I can't really think of anything that has any specific relevance. It's Easter Sunday. Should we go someplace religious? Should we go to the Vatican? Let's go to the Vatican. Where is Rome? Rome is... Sure. We're going to take off from here. We're going to make it daytime. I'll get... Oh, no. Right here it is. There's always fun stuff to see in Rome. And people are always like, I'm flying around Rome. I'm like, well, I'm jealous. I'm going to go against my... where I previously said we're just going to take right off. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind. I was gonna say we're gonna cold start it, but let's just go ahead and yeah, I'm not gonna cold start it. We'll just start on the runway. If I remember correctly, the cold starting procedure is pretty simple. I'll kind of show you. We'll go over the cockpit a little bit. The T-38 is a trainer, meaning designed to train jet fighter pilots. Started, I think, in the mid-50s, quite a while ago. Limited number of T-33s have been owned privately, but they are apparently, you know, a great airframe, is very reliable, relatively inexpensive to operate compared to a real jet fighter. This is the T-33. This is another plane that I purchased that it's not yet available. I'll show you the outside. It's not yet available in 2024, so in 2020, it's got sound. But it's a tandem. Okay, it's a tandem trainer. There's a front seat and a rear seat. Typically, an instructor and a you know training pilot. It does have a single engine, 2 intakes in the front, and big engine in the back. It has been used as a in the past for air shows and things like that. Let's see. Okay, right. Ignition's over here. Okay, that's the starter, so we've had to deal with all that stuff. We don't need that. There's a bunch of lights here. Okay, hydraulic system is all good. I think it's got a pretty complicated gas fuel system where it only takes fuel from the fuselage tank, but there's wings tanks and these tip tanks and these other LE tanks. I don't know what those are. But you have to you have to pump fuel manually into the fuselage tank before it goes dry. It just is what it is. All right, let's, okay, I think we're ready to go. So we might as well just go. So we're gonna give us full power and then park and brake off. Park and brake off. Aim ourselves down the road here. We got flaps and trim already set. And flying right into the wind. Takes right off like a dream. You're coming in. Flaps all the way just straight there. All right, the Vatican's this way. Whoa, I forgot. This plane has a roll rate, like a crazy roll, compared to the plane I was flying a second ago. Also, we're all going to go way too fast. Boy, those sounds are so dramatic. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff we're going to see first. There's the stadiums. It's great. But again, one of the things you're going to see in this plane is that it really has a great snap roll, and it's good for canyon carving. So we're going to follow the river down here. The actual Vatican is like, I think, up there. Yeah, you can see it from here. There's a Duomo. It's right here. The Basilica. San Pietro and the square there. So being Easter Saturday, the day before Easter, well, it's Good Friday, and then whatever day is on Saturday. I'm not the best Catholic in the world. And I imagine specifically because the Pope is kind of ailing at his age, probably a zillion people here. But that is this area. You can kind of see this area, those buildings here, that greenery there, this greenery here, right there. That's the entirety of the Vatican. I think that side over there is Italy, is Rome. It's pretty small, but you can look at it. It does have a border, and some of these buildings, a lot of these buildings here are inside, right here. But that's it. So I mean, there's a lot of it's and like the administration, I think, for the Vatican is there. Administrators. It's like a whole country. All right, let's get out and take a quick peek. You can kind of see beautiful detailing. Yeah, that sound effect. Beautiful detailing. All sorts of Latin stuff. You get the obelisk there. Very nicely done. I always appreciate that they spent a lot of time getting beautiful detail on Vatican. All right, where's our plane? Where'd I put it? It doesn't matter. We'll find it. Alrighty then. Oh. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other little things to see right around Rome, obviously. Well, you said you were flying around Rome, and I'm like, I'm jealous. I gotta check it out. It looks like a beautiful day. There's this thing up here, which is crazy. Oh, and the Coliseum, which is also pretty crazy. Is that? That's why it's so big. That is nuts. I would really see that person. But everyone wants to see the Coliseum, which is right here. Of course. I think they want the model in 2024 might be slightly more detailed of the Coliseum, but not by much. And then there's all sorts of little things to see there. Don't worry, we're fine. This plane is quite maneuverable. I don't think we'll be going under any of these bridges though. That's the Vatican up ahead, and most of Rome here is to the right here. The 7 hills, you can't really see them from the sky, is the thing. There's Mausoleum of Augustus, the Roman Emperor. It's kind of cool to see, like, mausoleums, the Villa Borghese. There's a few you can get under it further down from the Vatican. A few bridges you can get under. All right, fine. Let me just take a peek there. Okay, let's see how low we can go. I mean, these bridges are like inches off the ground. I mean, I do like to fly under bridges. You know me. But, I mean, I wouldn't even dare to try these. We'll fly down the river and see how far we can go. When the train starts getting steeper, typically you get these gorges, and then there's bridges you can fly under. But I'm just really admiring the quality of these bridges. I mean, they're probably really old and well-known, famous bridges. Okay, we're kind of flying in circles. That's okay. This bridge, yeah. Plus the curve of this little area here. There's no way you can fly under that one. Another cool bridge though. Okay, so the Vatican's there. This river kind of wraps around. You can see. Let's see how low we can go here. I mean, urban canyon carving. We're definitely stressing out my system to the max. Not to mention high G-forces. Yeah, none of these bridges can be flown over. Let's keep going. There might be some more modern ones down this way. Let's find out. The more modern ones would be a little higher. Yeah, no. This is still really cool. I was just flying down the river looking at all the bridges. It's kind of cool. Looks like there's kind of some, like, financial... I'm not sure there is kind of a financial center in Rome. Like with those tall buildings. Yeah, I would say these are not going to go for fly-unders. That one's a maybe. Here. I'm going to say probably not. We're getting real framing. Uh-oh. Alright, maybe down this way. Either way, I'm having a great time. In the real world, I would be sick to my stomach, by the way. Flying a plane like this is not... You're not going to have a good time. I mean, the G-forces up and down, this, that, like this. You get all this stuff go like that. That's good. That's not what you call a landing. Dude. Well, shouldn't matter. All right. Let me just see. Since we're going to start, let me just restart real quickly. I can get there real fast. I just want to see if further down the river there is anything you can land at. It'll just take a second because we weren't really going anywhere.
Herb Tower KENSH 9er ready for straight out departure at runway 16.
We got a few more minutes. I want to fly around anyway. I was not looking at what I was doing. Which is fine. Shouldn't have to. Alright, so this is the river, by the way. So we're going a long way down. We're going to go way back here, full speed. this, I mean, it'll get going at a decent speed. And then you don't have to worry about, stalling out. Okay, so right. So here is, we're right here. Let's don't get back here. This is the Vatican's right here. Here. You know, there it is. Okay, so then there's the river heading down this way. This is right exactly where it was almost. Here. A little bit less than full power needed. And there's this area down here. Check out. I mean, the other thing about a bridge you want to fly under is that you need a certain amount of straightaway in the river underneath it. The river's real curvy. Yeah, that's not a fly-in driving thing. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference if you're flying an ultralight or something. You can get in light. But if the bridge looks like it's solid, you know, it has to look like there's air underneath it, or it'll act like a wall. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any bridges around here. Except there's some real low ones. I think this is a drawbridge, maybe. There. These might be drawbridges. This one here. In any case, I'm having a good time flying around. A lot of stuff to see. Real framing. Getting about 15 frames per second. Yeah, well, as I say, you know, the experience is actually a little better in 2024. I mean, I like 2020 for certain things. One second. I think I have a massage. Text massage. Your order is on its way. I'm still flying. 9 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes. I might have to stop for a second to pick up an order from the front door. But the other thing is that we go far enough this direction west, we hit the ocean, and Rome is pretty landlocked. Rome is pretty much not that close to the water. In a sense, not really. That kind of thing, yeah, though. It's just something I ordered that is being delivered. Random stuff, you know. Fortunately, not a Diet Coke. In fact, it'd be nice if I did have a Diet Coke delivery system, but I probably could. One second. It's a slightly involved delivery. I don't know why. It is what it is. So in 9 minutes there'll be a delivery. But he's just coming to the door. It's not. All right. There's this other airport right out here called, what's it called? Flamencine? I don't know what it is. Fiumencino or something. All right. We're gonna go out to the water and we're gonna come back and land here. After that, stick around. There's going to be a full-on. This delivery is not affecting it. A full-on Ken's Piano Lounge. Look how we got this long-ass runway here, and this long-ass runway here, in a big L configuration. This is a pretty major airport. I wonder if this is actually the airport you land if you're landing in Rome. This is actually the main I can't pronounce it, but it's a huge international airport. And that other airport we took off from is probably not, it's not in use anymore. So, yeah. So you'd fly in, you'd probably land at this airport, and then you'd take a trip, some kind of train or bus or whatever, or rent a car to get to actual Rome. And it's probably going to take you about a half an hour, 45 minutes, because I say Rome is pretty inland. But yeah, they want people, they don't want planes flying over the city of Rome, big planes all the time. All right, how are we doing here? We're doing here fine. It's been a while since I've landed this plane. But we're going to do one thing, again, that I always like to do before landing, which is dump fuel to have a reasonable amount of fuel or weight. It can be very hard to land a plane that's typically overweight due to high fuel. But it's fine. All right, so we're going to make some, come around here. We're going to make this turn, and we're going to land. Get a little separation here, and we'll just make a quick turn, put the flaps down, put the gear down, and we'll be on the ground in no time. Oh, this plane definitely has a bit of handling. Handles a little funny sometimes. It's fine. It's actually quite sporty. All right, flaps down to about there. And hopefully the gear's going to come out. There's the gear popping out. All right, so now that the gear's out and the flaps is down to a landing configuration, we're already pretty close to the runway. No, I haven't used Navigraph. I assume it's a navigational add-on that can kind of help you get from point A, point A to point B in a more professional way. All right, let's go to this level of flaps. Does this plane have air brakes? I think it does, right? Yeah, but we don't want them down. There are those brakes underneath the plane. But yeah, anything under 160 is probably too slow. Yeah, get off my runway, guys. I want to land. And it's my runway. Rudder here so that we don't, we're really bouncing. I guess that was kind of a fast landing. I have my air brakes down too, right? Yeah. Speed brakes. Yeah, it was fine. No, it was pretty soft. It was pretty soft. It was soft. Okay, speed brakes in. There's the speed brakes there on the bottom. See, there's protection. Flaps to in. We're not going anywhere. It's a great livery though. It's very patriotic. I don't think you see it in Italy. You gotta slow way down to get reasonable nose wheel steering on this plane. There we go. It was, yeah, it's fine. All right, we're flying. But again, this plane has a special vibe. I mean, all my planes do, or many of the ones I do. For some reason, these jets do have a special vibe for me. And I appreciate getting, flying time and being able to get better at basic take off and landing. And just seat of the pants flying. Let's just park up here next to this Airbus or whatever. Now, I believe we can open the canopy. Let's find out. There's a canopy lock, okay? And then there's a switch you can push. Oof. And I think it's kind of like hard to find. Let me see if I can find it. There's like a canopy. Yeah, here it is. Canopy open button. So you turn off the lock, and then you push the button, and then it will open the canopy for you. So that's kind of cool. I always thought like that kind of realistic. He does it using that... I guess, I don't know what that is. There's maybe a hydraulic bar that pushes up there. Kind of cool. Unusual situation there. All right. Let's see. How would we turn off the engines and leave everything else on? Oh, I think there's a fuel cutoff. Yeah, just opening this cover, I think, cuts the fuel off. So that will cut the engine. That's all we're going to do. I don't really need to turn off all the power. I mean, the power switches are over here. Ignition, battery, generator. So, yeah, you can leave everything cold. Pretty plain. Wow. I mean, also it's just beautiful. The T-33 is a real plane. Again, there's still a few of them in use. There's how the steering gear looks there. Kind of want to get it up against this other plane though, kind of like that. Get more of aviation feel here. In fact, let me just jump out real quick. Now we can move wherever we want. Thunderbirds. There we go. Thunderbird. I think there are still Thunderbirds, but they haven't flown these planes for a long time. They're not the F-18s, right? I can't remember what the Thunderbirds fly now. But at some point, the Thunderbirds, which is the Air Force flying team, the Blue Angels are the Navy flying team, or Marines Navy. And they use F-18s. They still do. All right. Wow, that's a cool shot though, behind the tail like that. Beware of blast. Blast. All right, I'll blast you. It's like all the details. Thunderbirds, no step. What does it say here? Service this airplane with blah blah JP4 fuel. If not available, blah 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 will be consult. Oh my goodness, that's too detailed. All right, give me a few minutes. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be piano time. I'm going to switch to the musical flight category. But hey, if you like this flight simulator content, and who doesn't, my suggestion is to tune in tomorrow at roughly the regular time or the day after, because we should be doing more, and we'll probably be in 2024 next time. Just to, you know, there's things I like about 2020, and there's things I don't. You know, I'm glad I tried it out. There was a little minor update earlier today when I started it up, so I was kind of curious to see if there'd be anything noticeable, but there isn't. All right, we're gonna get into the musical category here. And switch right away before I'm thinking about it. Looks like we are, and we're going to get out of this. Okay, let's go to my mid-roll. minute here. Let's see. Piano. I had a delivery while I was supposed to be setting up. So it's taken me a few extra minutes to set up. That's fine. You can hear me say, oh, geez, that's not what you want to see. All right, set up this camera like I like it. That's not how I like it. Closer to I like it kind of, so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. That's important to me. Here we go. Now, another important thing is putting my headphones on because I won't be able to hear anything. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah, look at sound. We're in the correct category. Welcome to Ken's Piano Lounge. Thank you for coming by. We only have this, I don't know, 3 times a week, every week for the whole year. I know I'm missing something. Where's my list of songs? Hold on 1 second. I gotta get my list of songs. I should get an extra one. List of songs. Gotta have a list of songs, or I won't know what to play for the old Ken's Piano Lounge. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, let's see. The piano is in a reasonably good position here. Let's see. The camera is in reasonably... it's better. Here is better. Okay, my reverb is off. Turning reverb on in case I decide I want to sing something. I'm going to need that reverb. I know it's annoying on the speaking voice. Personally, I find it annoying. All right, let's just get a little warm up here. So what is Ken's Piano Lounge? I always like to say this little intro. It's basically, there's this list of songs. Blah, blah, blah. I pick a song. There's a song. I don't have to play them in any particular order. But once I decide to play a song, then I have to be able to play it without seeing any notes or lyrics or anything like that. So all these songs have to be remembered. And because of that, I kind of have to play them a lot or I'll forget them. So let's get into here a little bit and play some music. Like, for example, this one. I'm gonna sing a song. Why not? Because I want to. It's not really a lounge kind of song, but that's all right. I'm moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man in a factory downtown. If I had my little way, well, I'd eat peaches every day. Sun-soaking smoked bulges in the shade. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. I took a nap where the roots all twist. I squished a rotten peach in my fist, and I dreamed about you, woman. I poked my finger down inside to make a little room for an ant to hide, while nature's candy in my hand, or can or pie. Millions of peaches for me. Millions of peaches for free. Millions of peaches for me. Millions of peaches for free. Peaches. So I want to tell a quick story. I was watching this show. It's on Netflix. It's a Wednesday night show with John, what's his name? And it's a kind of like a live talk show where he has like weird guests and things like that. He's famous, that John Mulaney, right? And so I was watching a show, and he has Randy Newman on as the musical guest, which I'm like, wow, Randy Newman? Yeah, Randy Newman is still around. And he played two songs on the piano that are very familiar old songs to me, and I know I memorized the lyrics. Man, it was great to hear Randy Newman playing and singing the song, and he's still doing it. His piano playing is still a million times better than mine will ever be. So we're gonna do the one Randy Newman song I still like to do. I'm gonna sing and play it for you because I was inspired by that. It's called "Short People." It's another one. Oh shoot! What did I just do here? Stop! Jeez, I hit a button. I gotta get the lyrics here. I mean, I think I know I think I know that. We'll have to figure out for sure if I remember the thing. The notes. It goes like this. There. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live. They got little hands, little eyes that walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They wear platform shoes on their nasty little feet. Well, I don't want no short people round. Don't want no short people round. Don't want no short people round here. Short people are just the same. I gotta practice you and I. It's fools such as I. All men are brothers until the day they die. It's a wonderful world. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody to love. They got little baby legs that stand so low. You got to pick 'em up just to say hello. They got little cars that go beep, beep, beep. They got little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grabby little fingers and dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every time. Every time. Well, I don't want no short people round. Don't want no short people round. Don't want no short people round here. Gotta practice that one. Randy Newman. That's the only Randy Newman song I do. 1977, man. That's an old song. But I do a lot of 77 and 78 songs like that. This one is from 1978. Dry your eyes, my little friends, till they take you by the hand. Ready, getting ready, rock steady. Johnny strikes up the band. They'll be rocking in the projects, walking down along the strand. Ready, getting ready, rock steady. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the band. And Johnny is my main man. He's the keeper of the keys. He'll put your mind at ease. He's guaranteed to please, backed by popular demand. Look around, my little friends. Jubilation fills the lands. Ready, get ready, rock steady. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the when Johnny strikes up the band. A little rough, but hey, we're having a good time. I'll do some non-singing songs here. Relax my voice. Wait, well, how would you do this? favorite songs. Which is called a cliche. That cliche by Tom Ryan. Oh, I had a brain fart. I just played the song. All right, let's play some more songs. This, like, for example, Flashdance. Boy, I'm rough. I figured it out. Thank you. Have a good time, that flight. That's the only kind of disco song you're going to hear around here. But yeah, it's fun to play. All right, Girl from Ipanema. Last time, a couple times I play this, I'm starting to lose a few brain cells. Sorry, from too much alcohol, probably. Which affected my ability to do one of the trickier parts of the song. But I'm going to try it anyway. Not this part. Do I have a favorite song? They're like all my kids. They're all good. part. Cheers. We approve of that around here. That might be my favorite song. Cheers, the Diet Coke. Diet Coke, Diet Coke. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's still got plenty of oomph to it, you know. Finished the can, but, you know. The stream is not over until the Diet Coke has been fully consumed. All right, here's a little song from Stevie Wonder. All righty, a couple more songs for sure. How about this one? A little Steely Dan. Haig. All right, so we're gonna do this one here by Paul Williams. These are like show tunes. This is "Can You Read My Mind" from Superman the movie, 1978. Which, by the way, I just watched. It's on Max. It's the one with Christopher Reeve. It's a pretty good movie. It's very funny and light, and kind of well done, well paced. Considering they didn't have a huge budget, it kind of looks like they spent a reasonable amount of money. Back then there wasn't a lot of comic book movies being made, and for good reason. There weren't a lot of now they've all since been made. Anyway, the theme is written by John Williams. It's actually not sung anywhere in the movie, but there was a version of it sung kind of and released separately for the movie. In the movie, what's her name just speaks the lyrics over the tune. While she's flying around with him. Okay, I'm gonna do the song. Hello. A little bit of whatever that song was. All right. All right. Yeah, I want to sing the song here. I'd like to sing. Well, which is the one? Oh yeah, here we go. Jeez, I almost forgot which song I like to sing. Give me a second here. There's a man who leads a life of danger. With everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds on he won't live to see tomorrow. Beware of pretty faces you may find. A pretty face can hide an evil mind. Oh, be careful what you say. Don't give yourself away. Hey, odds on you won't live to see tomorrow. Well, secret agent man, well, they've given you a number, and they've taken away your name. Go to the song. I'll get it. You're sunning in the Riviera one day, bleeding in a Bombay alley next day. Oh, don't let the wrong words slip when kissing persuasive lips. Odds on you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, well, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. Well, look at it, it's a agent man, secret agent man. This mysterious life you choose is a deadly game. Secret agent man, well, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. Well, look out, it's a agent man, secret agent man. This mysterious life you choose is a deadly game. All right, we'll do a little Peanuts. I like to do this song next. It's called Up, Up and Away. I can sing it. I'm going to sing one of my favorite songs, probably the last song. Tomorrow's stream is going to be long. I got an announcement to make, which is that tomorrow's stream will consist of a flight simulator segment, a musical segment, guitar playing, me playing the guitar, and a Lego building segment, because I just got a new Lego kit in the mail from Amazon. That was the Amazon, there was an Amazon delivery. I don't want to get into it. That was just delivered to the front door. I didn't have to go anything. But yeah, I got a new Lego kit. It's this Walt Disney film camera. It's a really cool set, and it's like one of those 18 plus. It means it's going to be a complicated, fun, interesting build. They don't let the little kids build these little Legos. It's a Lego for adults. I'll show you the box a little later. But meanwhile, I'm going to sing the last song, which is I Can See Clearly Now by Johnny Nash. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. And I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. And it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It is gonna be a bright, sunshiny day right here. All right, man. I had a great time playing today, but I think I've had enough. I mean, I've got almost 2 hours in the belt here. And that's about as long as I normally like to. Now, tomorrow, it will be a little bit of a longer stream because I do pretty much the regular length stuff. And then I'm going to bring out some Lego and do at least probably half the Lego build tomorrow. And finish it up the day after. Or, it might take a while. Well, I'll see how it gets done when it gets done. All right. But thank you, Silverhand. Thank you again. By the way, licensed to dab. I really appreciate you. Your amazing chatting with emotes. I really, really appreciate it. It's always nice to have people in the chat who just say hello. That's the thing. And you're always good. So I appreciate it. But I appreciate you all you guys. But hey, even if you weren't here, I'd still be doing it anyway. See what I mean? Get my reverb up. Okay. Oh, I got the headphones off. All right, I'm going to go about my day, but I had a great time. I had a wonderful time. I'm going to do the whole thing again tomorrow. Again, I'm definitely going to play. We'll be building some Lego. I'm put on the floor. I mean, I like to build Lego on stream, and I've done it quite a few times, but obviously it's not an everyday kind of thing. So I kind of have to. The last one I built was I didn't build the love on stream, but we did build this one on stream here. Maybe this one here. We did build this fantastic, which is a brand new kit for 2025. This came out in January 2025. It's an amazing. If you've never seen me build a Lego set, it's not that exciting. But you can always fast forward on the VODs. This kit though, it's like an amazing. It's this Leonardo. It's called the Leonardo da Vinci flying machine. It's got this kind of trigger mechanism that lets you operate all the wings, the front and the back wings, using these kind of ropes that you connect up. It's a very complicated build. I loved every second of it. And one of the things about this is it doesn't, because you don't even have the wings on until the last second. It doesn't look like anything until almost the end. It looks like just a bunch of like things sticking out all over the place. So it's kind of it, but it's a beautiful, kind of very detailed build. It's got these little things in here, and there's more to it. But I highly recommend if anybody is interested in kind of a this for grown-ups Lego kind of thing. This is a great kit. So, and then I built this one, but I'm not on stream. Honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't build this one on stream. Oh yeah, really? Huh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, the ornithopter. Yes, that he had several flying. Remember, he had that kind of thing that looked like a screw device that spun and was supposed to produce downward lift and things like that. This kit was really beautiful. I highly recommend it. But because of it highly regular nature, you build all of the 4 letters separately and then you attach them. It wasn't that exciting, but it was still a really beautiful kit. I highly recommend it. Very artistic. Also a new kit for this year, I think. So yeah. So tomorrow I'll be building, and I also have another kit coming that's not released yet, that I bought. What is it? I don't know, but I bought it. I think it might be a Star Wars related Lego because I do like to collect those. So I think it's a Star Wars related Lego, but we'll find out. It's always, so I have another major kit. So we got a couple Lego kits lined up for the future. So that should be fun. Anyway, I only am going to raid somebody if they're absolutely somebody who I know, a close personal relationship with, or a small streamer who needs the people, but nobody's on. All right, I'm just going to run my outro. Thanks again for everything, and we'll see you again tomorrow.